No Huddle. Where we put two stories in one segment. Last week, Rodgers chastised Alexander for saying, quote, not worried, but if we lose next week, then I'll be worried. Well, guess what? Time to be worried. Lost 27-10. Now 3-3. Here's Aaron wearing a winter hat. Take a listen.
We got to be realistic about where we're at. We've played a couple subpar games the last two, so we got to play better. But wobbly, only if people are breaking rank. You know, I think it'll be interesting to look at the comments from all of our guys and coaches, and hopefully we stick together. That's the important thing. But until I see us breaking ranks, I'm not going to say there's any wobbliness going on.
This is an amazing press conference. This is an amazing press conference. If you watch the whole 15 minutes, he says that the key is simplifying the offense no less than 25 times. He says simplify, simplification, or make it more simple, literally at least 25 times throughout this. He also says that they have to decide whether or not they believe they have all the right pieces. And if not, he talks about Brian Gutekunst and talking with him, like, do we need to go out and get somebody? But I don't think we do. But if he does, we will. And then at the very end, an intrepid reporter, because the reporters in Green Bay, small market reporters get a bad rap sometimes. But it's a really hard gig when that's the only game in town.
Right.
When they are the only team you're covering on a major level. Yeah. And you got to ask Aaron Rodgers. And somebody, to their credit, it's like, Aaron, do you need to play better? And Aaron Rodgers, whose team has scored one touchdown in the last 6 quarters against the Giants and the Jets, said, well, I've got to watch the tape. And then took a sip of his water and was like, but, yeah, maybe a tick. I'm going to say more than a tick.
He said a tick.
I'm going to say the highest paid player in the NFL needs to be more than a slightly above average quarterback, which James is all he's been this year. It doesn't take away from who he's been over the course of his career.
Right.
But if we were to, and we show you the numbers real quick, compare Rodgers to who he's been over the course of his career, it's jarring. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers played, 15 seasons as a starter? Well, yeah, this is going to be his worst one so far. And go ahead.
No, the standard is up there. You know what I mean? Like when you talk about Patty Mahomes, you talk about Tom Brady, you talk about Aaron, the standard is up there, right? So once they fall under that standard, right, everybody's going to look at them like, hey, can you play better? And trust me, I've been in the locker room, been in the huddle with Aaron Rodgers. He knows he needs to play better, period, right? Whether he's standing up there saying it or not, I need to watch film and all, he knows he needs to play better. This team goes as he goes, right?
Correct.
If he does not play at a high level, this team is going to end up losing games like they lost the last 2 weeks. If he plays at a high level, this team is going to win ball games, right? So for him, he knows he has to play better. I'm with him on simplifying the offense, right?
So what does that mean?
Simplify means let's line up and let's get in the formation and let's play. Let's eliminate all these motions. Let's eliminate all these design plays that we got where we're trying to create a bunch of ways to get people open. Let our young players line up and play. I'm a special thrower of the football. Let's line up. Let's run routes. Let's play. If we're going to run the football, let's line up and let's come downhill at people.
Wasn't that the complaint about Mike McCarthy's offense? There wasn't enough design. There wasn't enough motion. That guys that you weren't scheming them open. It was all relying on Aaron Rodgers' arm talent. And now you got all this stuff, and he's like, let's make it just rely on, explain that.
And that's the thing, too. See, number one, playing in Green Bay, you expected to win a championship every year. You're in contentions to win a championship every year. So when you lose a couple games, this is the type of stuff that comes out of there, right? We have lined up and played. I played under Coach Mike for 8 years. We lined up and said, come get us. We are better than you for years. Won a Super Bowl, win 15-1, a bunch of great seasons. Aaron Rodgers, MVP, right? Line up and play. Once we started losing, what are we doing? We're not moving the people around and all that. No, we weren't winning on the outside. We weren't making the throws. We wasn't stopping nobody on defense. That's why we were losing. It wasn't the scheme and all that type stuff. So for Aaron, you have young guys in there. Jordy Nelson is not there. Greg Jennings is not there. Donald Driver is not there. James Jones is sitting next to you in here. You got to simplify it for these young guys so they can play faster. They are capable of making plays. I've been around Romeo Doubs. I've been around Lazard. I've been around Randall Cobb. They are capable of making plays. Simplify it. Let the quarterback throw. Let them get you in the right play. And let's go.
But look, what you're saying, receivers matter. And I don't know that Aaron Rodgers
doubt, I'm a receiver. You're right.
I know you got about that, right? Is he still able to carry any receiver.
Yes.
I don't see it. I mean, he's 38. He's going to be 39 in December. Everybody's not going to be Tom Brady. Like Peyton Manning last year, he was 39 years old, and he was terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Rodgers obviously isn't that bad, but he hasn't thrown for 260 yards yet in a game. He hasn't thrown 3 touchdowns yet in a game. I'm just wondering, and I don't know that I see it on his throws. Obviously, the accuracy and
flick of the wrist,
the guys aren't open like they used to be. But he appears to be no longer a guy that whatever receiver is out there with me, I'm going to shine. He used to be great just a year ago without Devontae Adams. 7-0. That's why I thought this year he'd be fine without Devontae. This season, obviously without Devontae, not the same.
Look at the touchdowns.
And they have one clear win. The Bears
Right.
did. Their other win, the Bucks had a 2-point conversion tie at the end, and the other one was overtime against the Patriots in a game where their starting quarterback got knocked out. Now the Patriots, they went to the better quarterback, so it was good for them. But still,
all I'm gonna say is the last time the Packers started 3-3, right? We finished 11-5, right? Went to the playoffs, right? We are okay.
That was a long time ago.
We're okay.
Well, I remember
12 will get you out of this.
I remember the year after you left, in 2016, they started 4-6, and then went undefeated the rest of the way and went to the playoffs. You know why? Because Aaron Rodgers was at that time the best quarterback in football. Right now, he's not. I'm not saying he's not. He is not playing like one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. There's no path for the Packers without them.
And James Jones and Greg Jennings are
not walking through that door. Nope.
Let's talk about one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football. Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. We might have 2 spots in the top 10.
Ooh. Are you in yet, Wiles?
Zappi goes for
Zap 'em!
309 yards and 2 touchdowns.
My guy.
Nick?
Yeah.
You know what I say. You don't need to put out another man's light to make yours brighter. So I'm expecting you to follow that golden rule.
Yeah.
You can say, you know, you can just heap praise.
I've been on Zappi since Western
but you don't
Kentucky.
need to put out Mac Jones, the baby goat.
6,000 yards, 60
well,
touchdowns.
his hoof is healing up. Go ahead. I know the stats.
Listen, I told you the moment they drafted Bailey Zappi that I'd been watching him. You didn't believe me, and then you did a little research today. You found out why I'd been watching him.
Clutch client.
Bailey
I wasn't
Zappi,
aware
clutch
of that.
client. It's not my job to tell you everything. I just drop little, little breadcrumbs, see if you can pick it up. Like
a little bit of logos. I had to follow the trail.
Watching Bailey Zappi, clutch client. So listen. So, why won't Bill Belichick call Mac Jones starter? Oh, Belichick never says anything. Go back and watch the press conferences when Cam was there, and Cam missed time, and he said Cam's our starter.
That's true.
Cam's our starter. Cam's our starter. He's done this for other guys. He won't do it for Mac Jones. So why won't he do it for Mac Jones?
He kept saying, Cam, my starter, Cam, my starter, Cam, my starter.
Until he cut
Mac
it.
Jones started.
No. I'm talking about the year before Mac Jones got there. Cam's first year there.
Yeah, we were getting pulled.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So Mac Jones came into the league, and we know what he was. High floor, low ceiling. And that got him a 7th alternate spot in the Pro Bowl and the worst gritty ever done.
Excuse me, have you seen Mike Gesicki?
And then Mac Jones came into this year, James, and said, you know what? I'm going to prove I'm not high floor, low ceiling. I'm going to prove I'm high ceiling. And you know what they got? Low floor.
Yeah, got a lot of interceptions.
A lot of interceptions. And now Bailey Zappi's coming in and being like, what do you want, coach? Do whatever you want. I think Bailey probably told that special teamer, go give Belichick the ball. He's our guy. And so if I'm the Patriots, Greg, the Jack Jones kid they drafted had some off-field issues, stud. Ramondre Stevenson is good. The defense, it looks like a Patriot defense. I don't know why I'd change quarterbacks. It's not a Dak Prescott situation. Mac Jones does not discernibly have more talent than Bailey Zappi. Not that I've seen, so I don't know why I'd change it.
We're overreacting.
So
we are
you would go back
overreacting with these backup quarterbacks. They come in there, they win 1 or 2 games, make a couple throws. We're overreacting.
But Mac Jones is a backup
This is a
quarterback.
Pro Bowl first-round quarterback. I don't care how many times you alternate. If they call your name to come up in that thing, you there. You can't take that away from them. When they read Mac and Cheese stats and say Pro Bowler, it don't say alternate Pro Bowler, it say Pro Bowler, right? So for me, I'm cool with Bill Belichick not just coming out saying, hey, Mac Jones is the starter when he comes. I'm fine with that. But don't overreact about the young fella coming in there. To me, this is Mac Mac Jones' team.
Your best segment.
Period.
Best segment you've done.
Period.
Better than the Packers segment.
I'm going to split you guys because I agree. Let's not overreact. Was it Mike? Who was the kid? Mike White they're talking about in New York, right? Just a year ago. He had lit the world on fire. Bailey Zappi may turn into a pumpkin in 2 weeks, right?
And
then you'll go back to
Mac Jones.
But to Nick's point, he hasn't done enough where it's automatically his job. Right now, they're playing
Bailey
better
Zappi
with.
has.
No, he hasn't. But here's my deal. If Mac is ready to play this weekend, I'm sticking with Bailey.
Well,
for the time being, I go with Bailey Zappi and see what he can do.
It's not like you're.
So I'm not saying he loses the job forever.
He's not.
But he's lost
But that's
for the
basically
time
what
being.
you're saying, because if Bailey Zappi goes out there, continue to play well, you say no more Mac Jones all season.
So why?
Well,
What do you want them to do?
If Bailey falls off the map,
You're the
then we'll
Pats
go
fan.
back
What
to
do you
Mac.
want them to do?
Mac
You know how
Jones.
much we talk about Jimmy G on this show? Jimmy G started as Tom Brady's backup. Why is that? Because steel sharpens steel. Iron sharpens iron. Bailey Zappi is making Mac Jones better. Bailey Zappi went and played great against Cleveland. You know who else played great against Cleveland? Mac Jones last year. He played phenomenal. Oh, look at
No
this.
other quarterback's
Surprise,
done that, though,
surprise.
this year.
Mac played well. And here's the little secret undercurrent narrative that nobody wants to say except me. You know who's really doing a great job? Yes, that's
Judge
right.
or
No.
Matt Patricia?
Take out your pencil and put it behind your ear, Nick. Take it and then write down. Matt Patricia's doing an awesome job. So maybe Mac Jones got a little bit over his skis and needs to dial it back a little bit. But it's still his job. He's still the baby goat. And Bailey Zappi's
soon
the
as he's
baby
ready.
Jimmy G. Yes, as soon as he's ready.
Because he's not close to obviously
Wild.
Brady.
If you
Mac,
stick
that's
with
the problem.
Zappy,
Who says
you
that? Why
can
they
make
call him
the
a baby
playoffs.
goat?
Overreacting about
you
Bailey
stick
Zappi.
Zappy,
You
you
guys
can
are
make the playoffs.
We're making the playoffs
You are.
regardless.
Can I tell you something,
They
James?
were 1-2 with
You've
Mac.
been
They're
amazing.
2-1 with
You are
Bailey.
underreacting to how bad Mac Jones is.
No,
It's not about pro Bailey Zappi, even though he does have great representation.
That's
We
true.
mentioned that.
We gotta
Mac Jones was one of the worst players in the league for the first 3 weeks.
But we
of the
have
season.
to understand these defensive coordinators had all offseason to prepare for Mac Jones.
I don't think they spent a lot of time.
Yes.
They did.
They're putting
let it play out.
It's no
Just
surprise
let it
now.
play out.
It
That's
has
all I'm
played out.
saying.
It has played out.
Really?
Yes, the baby goat's team.
No
Let
other
it-
quarterback
Someone
played
should
that
tell Belichick.
run over Cleveland like Zappy did.
I'm going
I heard
No
Mac
other
didn't even
offense
get
ran
invited
over
to
them
Robert
this year
Kraft's
like
wedding.
Zappy.
Zappy
Probably could have gone.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Are the
Watch
Cowboys
Patriots.
going to get Dak back shortly?